Sam was someone I could see, hear, and even feel. He used to grab my hand and sometimes playfully shove me. He was as real to me as any other living person, so when he completely disappeared, it was quite traumatic. The day he left was an ordinary day. I was down in the basement playing with my dinky cars. Sam was with me, like he always was. But I remember him telling me he had to go. "Shawn," he said, "I have to leave, but I want you to know I'm always going to be with you. Even though you won't be able to see me anymore, if you ever need me, just talk to me." There was a big flash of the whitest light I had ever seen, and he was gone. Sam had completely vanished. I suddenly felt so alone in a way I never had up to that point, in a way that felt completely wrong. I remember crying and crying all day. I tried to talk to my friend, but wasn't able to see or hear him anymore. It was devastating. A couple of years later, I again had a direct experience with Sam. It was not in physical form this time, but in the way that made me understand he was still with me like he had promised. I was just learning to ride a bike and was being reckless, setting up ramps on steep hills. As I was barreling down one such hill, I hit the ramp the wrong way and went flying. But while in the air, I suddenly felt my body being grabbed and turned upright, so instead of landing on my head, I landed on my feet, and I wasn't injured at all. The other kids were in awe, as was I. To them, it looked like a miracle, but I knew it was Sam. Although my spirit guide no longer appeared in physical form past the time I was 5, there were other magical things I was able to hold on to a little longer. The ability to leave my body at night and fly through my town was one of them. We've all had dreams of flying, but this was different. For one thing, it happened like clockwork every night, in that strange state between being awake and being asleep. For another, my town looked ever so slightly different. There was always a dusky half-light I've come to think of as the light of the astral world, which is closely layered on top of our own, and to which, as a child, I had direct access. Every night, it was the same thing. I'd be falling asleep when I'd suddenly find myself standing in front of my house. And then I'd make up my mind as to which direction I wanted to go. And then off I'd fly, zipping through the sky. The topography was the same, and so was the placement of all the houses. The only thing different was that there were never any people in this dusk world. Never, that is, but for one exception. On that occasion, I saw an older woman wearing a long, dark Victorian-style dress floating over the telephone poles. She had an umbrella like Mary Poppins and looked as though she was straight out of the 1800s. When I tried to talk to her, she just looked at me, stuck up her nose and floated on by. Excited by her presence, there was another person whom I looked for in this dusk world, yet never found. His name was David, and he was a classmate who died of leukemia when I was about 6 years old. When he passed, I told my mom I was going to use my nighttime flights to find him. That evening, I flew to his house, but no one was there. When I awoke the next morning, I told my mom I hadn't been able to find him, and she assured me this was because he was now in heaven. These two experiences, seeing the woman dressed in the period clothing and being unable to find David, helped form my beliefs about the astral world. I believe it is a place of lower vibration, where spirits who haven't fully embraced the light still reside. It is a place that exists between our realities here on earth and those in the spirit world. I had these nighttime adventures until I was about 8 or 9 years old and can clearly remember realizing my ability to fly was leaving me. I would fall asleep and still appear outside my house, but I would remain earthbound. Little did I know that my nighttime flights, visits from my great-grandparents, and my conversations with Sam were just a taste of what was to come. But first, in order to remember, I had to forget.